Welcome. We're looking at the UAD emulation of the Studer A800. Studer was one of the first machines I worked with many years ago, 30 years ago when I first started recording. And there's something about analog tape which has become historical in the sense that its warmth and punch is nice. For years I ran a hybrid studio, half analog and half digital, where the machines were synced together. And I generally use the analog machines for things like kick drum and bass, bottom end things. Well, I'm going to give you some demonstrations on how to use this little guy to your best advantage. Generally, I would do kind of the same thing and stick to bassy instruments like bass guitar and kick. But for this demonstration, we're going to run a whole kit through it just so you could perhaps hear it better. Now let's start off with it turned off. And here's the kit we have. Now I'm going to go ahead and turn it on, and it's going to be a subtle difference. Then I'm going to show you actually what we would do back in the old days of analog with tape in order to get a little more of a saturation occurring, to get density in the recording. So we'll turn it on. And the first thing we're going to do is push the input. Now we want to make sure to match the output here, so I'm going to show you that so you can really hear a correct difference between the on and off. That's off. That's on. Now I'll do that again. Our output is pretty much matched, so we're hearing a bit more density in the recording now with this on. Let's push it actually a little bit harder. Off. On. Okay, then that's pretty nice. Let's take it a little bit further. Now it's important to note that with the reproduce head on, we're actually hearing what would be going through the tape, recorded and then played back. In other words, we're getting not just the mechanisms and the mechanics of the machine, the electronics of the machine, we're also getting the tape. Okay, now let's go a little deeper with this. I'm going to turn the auto calibration off and do some tweaking with or biasing over here in the controls. Now, if I was working with this and pushing it harder, one thing that might occur would be a little bit of edge in those cymbals. I'm going to adjust for that with the biasing here. Okay, and let's turn off, make sure the noise is off, leave it on NAB. And I'm going to go up to 15 IPS. Let's take that back. Adjust our biasing. It's a little bit better now. And that's helping us. That's helping us soften a bit of those cymbals, which, you know, if we're going to use this on a whole kit, we'd want to do that, especially if we're pushing the input so hard. Now we can go to our reproduce head, do the same. And the low frequencies. Right about there. Now let's push it a little more. Okay, that's pretty nice. Let's do a comparison. off, on, off, on. Now that's just a quick view of how to use this thing to your best benefit. You can also get into more details, of course, by reading the manual, learning more about the different tape formulations, and experimenting. The key is to experiment. Check out all of our videos at Recording School Online. Thank you.